On this? Huh? Is this gonna be put back another week, or we got enough to? Okay. Okay, I got 6:30.
All right, call to order the City of Cannon Falls City Council meeting Tuesday, March 17th. Roll call?
Diane Johnson,
Here.
Zimmerman,
Here.
Chad Johnson,
Here.
Jepson,
Here.
Nobach, absent, Cronenberger,
Here.
Montgomery, absent.
Stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, can I get an approval of the agenda, please? Approval. A motion by Lisa,
Second.
second by Jepson. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Public input. Public input is intended to afford the public an opportunity to address concerns to the city council. The public input will be no longer than 30 minutes in total length. Each speaker will have no more than 3 minutes to speak. Speakers may address topics relevant to the governance of the city. Speakers must sign up in advance and must provide their name, address, and topic they intend to address. Comments must stay on topic, respectful, pertinent to city business, and adhere to the applicable data privacy rules. Any speaker that violates these rules will be asked to sit down, and if the speaker refuses to comply, may be removed from the meeting. Speakers shall not address topics that are subject of a public hearing. All such comments shall be made at the public hearing. The city council will generally not act on issues raised by the public input, but may choose to schedule consideration on a future agenda. Okay, I'm going to say first that if I mispronounce anybody's name, just let me know. First, Ferlin Miller. I get it right?
Leon? All right. So I want to, Ferlin Miller, 1016.
Name and address.
Yep, Ferlin Miller, 1016 Minnesota Street West, Cannon Falls, Minnesota.
Zip code, no.
No. Social Security. So I want to address, obviously, I'm also here to represent the Cannon Valley Fair Board. And on tonight, on this amendment, I know it went through the Planning Commission. There's a couple things here that we would really have a hard time with as a fair board. First one is the noise study. It just seems a little far-fetched because we're going to make it on the fair to do noise study previous to an event. But if we go around town and there's other amplified stuff, whether it's athletic field, the schools, did we make them do studies? Because it's the same thing. It's an amplified noise microphone. The second one that I think all that should be struck out of here. The second one, I think they were pulling out the city council being able to approve anything after 5 motorsports events or amplified. I think that one should be struck. I think the council should be able to approve whatever they see fit. That's why we vote them in. As far as the third one, the gate, we don't use that outside the fair. The only thing we have is there was a piece of fence there where people could walk through there. We pulled it out because people were stepping over it, but if we want that shut down, we'll close it completely so no one can walk through there either. I mean, it's ridiculous, but we never use it anyhow, so that's no big deal. The other stuff I want to address is we need to end this. We keep hearing about the carts. We already gave up. We're done with the carts. We keep hearing, you didn't follow the cease and desist. No, we did follow the cease and desist. The previous administrator told us, I'm going to give you this, but you got to finish out your contract. You guys just do what you got to do. This is part of our next step. So we did after the season and ended the contract. But it keeps coming to Facebook. Here it is, carts. We're not talking about carts. We just want to go back to what the fair was doing previous to this. So we ask that you guys pull these out, pass this. We got some crutches now for the fair to work on, for the city to work on. We think it's fair. That's all we're asking. Thank you.
Thanks. Nancy Hovel?
Hello, Nancy Hovel, 33099 County 25 Boulevard, Cannon Falls, Minnesota. I am a director on the Cannon Valley Fair Board, and I just want everybody to make sure they know this is our 111th year of the Cannon Valley Fair. We have had activities on that fairgrounds for that many years. We've also had additional shows. Last year, we hosted the Minnesota Junior Angus Association 3-day event for their cattle show. It was wonderful. It had quite an economic impact on the city of Cannon Falls, the grocery store. The first night of that show, they ordered pizzas in, and kids can eat pizza, you know. And we also have the high school has a cross-country meet there every year, one, sometimes two. I mean, we want to utilize the grounds, and we're not, we're trying to encourage more people to come to our city and enjoy our fair. The harness horse racing, we have 5 additional, shows coming. They will be on Saturdays and Sundays, starting at 1 o'clock. And yes, they have to use a microphone to announce the start of the race and the end. So, I mean, there's some things that you need amplification for, but I don't think a microphone is going to be too loud for that. And the importance of the Cannon Valley Fair for the kids in our county and Dakota County and Rice County. Last year we had 371 exhibits in our 4-H building. We also have open class exhibits, flowers, culinary. We have livestock shows, all during our fair, but sometimes they want to have additional shows at the fairgrounds. So I'm very proud that I am on the board, and I want to continue keeping the Cannon Valley Fair the biggest and the best family-orientated activity that happens in the city of Cannon Falls. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, I am not going to get this last name. Stephen Heitman?
Hello, I'm Stephen Heitman, 34900 335th Street, Lake City, Minnesota. I'm the owner of Impact Motorsports Promotions. First off, I want to thank you guys for taking the time to listen to us tonight. I appreciate that. Been coming to the fair since in the 80s and 90s. I participated at the fair and then started working with the fair several years ago. And I just want to bring kind of main thing that she said as well. But at our last event over Memorial Day, we brought several people to Cannon Falls, and at the end of the week there, you couldn't even buy an ice cube. You know, they bought Cannon Falls out of every ice cube that you guys had. And it was hard finding beer. All the Brewsters, every restaurant was really busy. So it's more than just an event. I think, when they come to town, it was kind of overwhelming. I really was shocked when I heard that they brought that many people to town, but restaurants and everything, they do that as well. But I just, as a personal standpoint, I've been coming here forever, like she said. I've been participating, and it's just a really nice fair, and I just hate to see anything go away. So, thank you.
Thank you. Rodney Bratz.
Rodney Bratz, 28389 Henderson Way, Randolph, Minnesota. I've been on the fair board for 8 years now, and I'm just here kind of what they've all said to the impact of the town, how much money it brings in. And one thing I got to say is I lived over on the north side my whole life. I moved out in 2000 outside of town. I chose where I live. I moved my house, built my house next to a highway. I knew it's gonna be loud, but I dealt with it, you know? I lived with it. Now I got a data center come in, I'm gonna live with that too. Where you put your house, or you buy your house, you should know where you're gonna live. You should know what's gonna happen. You know you built next to a fairgrounds, or you moved next to a fairgrounds. You should just deal with it. I mean, we all have noise. This has gotta be over. We gotta finish this. This is too long. I mean, it's been 2 years now. I just wish it was over. It's frustrating trying to schedule events for the fair, and you gotta worry about people up on the hill, and it's frustrating. So I just ask you just to do what you guys gotta do for the city, and thank you.
Thank you. Rick Chapman.
Rick Chapman, 26360 Goodwin Ave in Randolph, Minnesota. I'm just coming here for support for the fairgrounds. I came from a big place, Mesa, Arizona. I don't know if you guys realize what you have. I mean, the fairs that all these kids can be a part of, it's huge. I was from a place that stuff existed and then all went away. And it would be terrible to see that same thing happen in a town like Cannon Falls. I mean, you talk to anybody, they've been to the Cannon Falls Fair. The Cannon Falls, you know, they've all been super friendly with companies, people in Cannon Falls to help us go and promote with them. We promote with those guys. But like I said, you go to the fair and you'll see all the kids. You'll see what this is all about. And if this all goes away after 111 years at this point, it would just be a terrible thing to see. That's all I wanted to come here and say. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Kurt Beisel.
Kurt Beisel, 1231 West Minnesota Street. Council members, thank you once again for your continued efforts in this matter. It has truly been difficult for all parties involved, and it's been tough. As you are all aware, two meetings took place hoping to find a compromise for possible events which would be appropriate for both the fair board and residents of the community. At the last meeting, it was agreed the fair board was free to host any event they wished. Our only criteria at that time was for the events not to exceed both state and local noise ordinances. That's it. We certainly wish the fair to be successful, but not at the expense of the residents' right to enjoyment of their properties. Nearly 3 years ago, I stood here and played a recording of what one 250C motocross bike would sound like. This was to give the council an idea of the noise residents would have to endure. There has been a misconceived notion that getting rid of the sprint cars will allow the fair board to be compliant with noise ordinance. We have consistently disagreed with this, not because we are against the fair, but because this will once again follow the same scenario as it did 2 years ago. There have been no attempts determining whether races should be allowed based upon noise ordinances. We have asked both the Fair Board and the administration if they had any data or information on the decibel levels produced with dirt bike racing. Unfortunately, there has been no oversight in this matter, and this has been very frustrating to us. In our research, we have found an abundance of articles on this very subject. The information which I speak of is the dissipation of noise that occurs with distance. This is called noise modeling. This is nothing new. City developers, planners, and event organizers frequently use empirical data on sound mitigation to determine if specific events such as concerts, races, or festivals will comply with noise statutes. I present to you, if you have it in front of you, I think John had sent that, given you some handouts. I present to you an example of how a race with 4 motocross bikes would affect decibel levels in the surrounding community. Keep in mind this is based off empirical and scientific evidence. If you look at the simple rule for the reduction of decibel levels with distance over a flat terrain, the sound level drops 3 decibels as the distance from the source doubles. This is scientific fact. If you notice, this particular scenario is based upon a motocross race whereby the reduction in sound is based on 4.5 decibels for each time a distance doubles, and that's because of the absorption from the ground, of the dirt, the ground. Please notice this is in direct line of sight of homes. As you can see, if 4 bikes are racing, this would create a sound of 105 decibels at its source. This is if each bike produces no more than 96 decibels. Many venues do not enforce this. Also, keep in mind, larger bikes will emit higher decibel levels. Now, if you look at the formulation, you'll see that it would take a distance of 840 feet for the venue to be compliant for any races after 7 p.m.
I'm sorry, Kurt, you're at 3 minutes.
Oh, can I just get through this part? It's just, this is the last scenario. It's just, I have to, this wouldn't be fair, guys. This is the last part, it's just one last paragraph. Now, if you look at the formulation, you'll see it would take a distance of 840 feet for the venue to be compliant for any racing after 7. The closest property line for this racetrack is 450 feet. That's not even close. So there's much more here you can read, but that should be enough to determine why we're in a situation we're in and why we're concerned.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Aaron McMahon?
Erin McMahon, Hoffman Street. Good evening, Mayor Pro Tem, council members. I'm speaking on behalf of a coalition of adjacent property owners with over 125 years of service to the community to formally establish our position on the administrative record, not to tug at your heartstrings. State law is clear. The Cannon Valley Fair is a private association, not an officially recognized agricultural society. It possesses no statutory right to bypass local land use laws. Creating a custom, hyper-permissive zoning district to grant them sweeping exemptions from standard environmental review is a clear case of illegal spot zoning. It also directly violates our 2003 Comprehensive Plan, Chapter 1. Of that plan explicitly establishes our, quote, Chapter 1 of that plan explicitly establishes our natural amenities and quality physical environment as the focal point of a tourism industry, based around bicycling and canoeing. Furthermore, Chapter 7, Policy T7 strictly mandates the city will employ whatever steps necessary to keep traffic on the major streets and out of residential neighborhoods. The documents prepared for tonight's vote show the city is fully aware of the legal liabilities they are creating. Your own planning commission recognized that a city cannot legally assume compliance with Minnesota Rule 7030 when basic physics proves otherwise. However, we see the writing on the wall tonight. The council packet explicitly notes the proactive noise models will cost the fair up to $15,000, and it provides this council the option to simply delete those protective amendments. It is a matter of public record that this city continues to spend significant taxpayer money on attorney fees to force this custom zoning district through, yet you are preparing to strip proactive safety requirements just to spare a private association and expense. Let the record show, by attempting to classify high-impact events like motocross as a permitted use, rather than requiring a conditional use permit, you are intentionally bypassing municipal oversight. You are granting a permanent right to operate without the standard mechanism for enforcement. If you strip the proactive noise models to save the fair money, you cannot simply leave a regulatory void. Strict zoning enforcement mechanisms must be explicitly codified into the text of this ordinance. The law must legally mandate independent, continuous, real-time noise monitoring, and it must trigger automatic, non-discretionary cease and desist orders the moment state limits are breached. If you pass this ordinance tonight without codifying real-time enforcement and automatic shutdown procedures directly into the text, you are willfully authorizing permanent land uses that violate state law. We formally request that you table this ordinance until binding enforcement procedures are strictly codified into the text. If you pass this uncodified draft tonight, the city assumes full legal liability. I am also submitting a formal written addendum to the clerk detailing the required zoning enforcement procedures and the severe health and safety liabilities hidden within the camping provisions. Thank you.
Avery Evans.
Hi, I'm Avery. My address is 525 Water Street East. And I recently had some trees cut down in my yard. They belong to the city. They were ash trees. They're part of this process of cutting down the ash. And I just had a couple questions in regard to that. I wanted to know the ratio of trees being taken down to trees being planted. Um, I wanted to know when the stumps will be removed from my yard, because I wasn't given a clear answer on that. And I wanted to know also what kinds of trees were going to be planted in the city. I went here a few months ago and you guys told me that the DNR gave you grant money for reforesting the city. And yeah, just updates on that. This is my first time hearing about all this stuff going on with the fair, but I met my best friend at the fair when I first moved here. I moved here the summer of 2022, and I think it's a great opportunity for people who are coming into the city to get acquainted with the amazing community that we have here. And that was my first introduction, and I met so many amazing people at the fair, so something to take into consideration. That's it.
Thank you. Where are we at with time? Okay. Tim?
Tim Deemer, Riverside Terrace. Now there's, should be on file, been living here for, my phone just shut down, so too long, 30-some odd years, or since 91. When I first got a job here in 90, so I commuted for the first part of the, before moving here, but I had a question about police. Concerns or reading from what they, I guess, promote or give out on their business cards. And I was also wondering when it says as needed, the police commission, how to find out more information about the police commission, if that is at all possible, hopefully after the meeting or as soon as. And I've been told by a council member after last month's council meeting, the council member is not here today, but he was saying he has a hard time understanding me. What else did he say? It's like I'm not clear enough in something. If I don't know if I talk too slow or I definitely don't talk too fast. Maybe. But I'm dealing about making this this part about what is right. I made acronyms for the word right and the word always. I don't know, but to where is any of us in this room always right? I think not. Are any of you right all the time? Well, that's what my what I want to bring up, and hopefully sit on, around a table, you guys, so this town has been wonderful, safe, resources are lacking, it's in some ways, and, I'll just keep trying to think of what I want to say, but I'll be back next, I guess it's 3 weeks from now. I'll just keep coming back. Thanks.
Thank you. Brian Johnson?
Hi, Brian Johnson, 600 East Minnesota Street. I born and raised in Cannon Falls, graduated from high school, and I'm here to talk about trees too. First, I'm under-researched on this. And I kind of wanted to come because this was it's been something that has been on my mind for a while, but I want to be proactive and just kind of speak some of the kind of what I'm noticing and my thoughts on the matter. First, so I did call the Public Works and left a message, so I'm waiting to hear back from them. So I'm imagining they're going to have some answers or they're probably the person to talk to on some of this stuff, but I wanted to bring it up tonight. First, I wanted to say thank you to the city or the Public Works for getting the grant to get the trees removed, because we had 2 trees removed from where we live, and one of them was in really bad shape. So if that wasn't removed, it could have caused a lot of damage. So I really appreciate that we're doing that. And I'm noticing that there's a ton of trees being taken away. And so, that's great that we were able to be proactive and get that done. And with that said, then I think, I want to follow up and just make sure that we're following through. And I want to see if what the plan is for replanting after these trees are removed. If there's funds in the grant that are built in for replanting. If so, that's great. If not, I'd want to say we should set a priority to carve some money into the budget to replant. I think trees are a really important part of the city. I'm thinking, I like to kind of try to live a life where I leave a place better than I found it. And so with that, then I would just ask that we kind of set an agenda to do a 1-to-1 replacement, ideally more, since storms take trees, and it's an ongoing thing that trees are getting taken away or knocked down. And so if the grant supports that, great, and if not, or if they under support that, I'd ask that we would do what we can to make that happen. And I guess I'll just close by saying that trees are really literally the look and shape of a town. And so if we take pride in our community, let's plant a whole bunch of trees. Thanks.
Thank you. Okay, that moves us to the consent agenda. The consent agenda items may be adopted under one motion as presented, or may be removed for discussion and resolution as city council business. A, just and correct claims, accounting period ending December 31st, 2025. B, just and correct claims, accounting period ending March 11, 2026. C, meeting minutes for March 3rd, 2026 city council minutes. D, approve Don Mensing Park sign replacement. E, Resolution 2861, applying to the Minnesota Public Facilities Authority for grant for the lead service line replacement project. F, Resolution 2862, approving plans and specifications and ordering advertisement for bids for 2026 street and utility improvements project. G, approve process of hiring pool employees. H, approve process of hiring seasonal public works employees. I, approve fire department wellness room update. That's it.
I'd like to bring down item D.
Okay, item D will be moved to council business C. Any other questions on the agenda?
Can I just make a quick comment? Having taken the tour of the fire station and seeing the wellness room, these updates are very much needed, and as our volunteer fire department, gives us everything, I'm glad they can do this.
Couldn't agree more.
Okay. All right, with that, can I get a motion to approve the consent agenda minus item B? I'm sorry, D.
Second?
Motion by Lisa, a second by Diane. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carries. Council Business A, Nelson Schofield VFW Post 4452 land donation.
All right, so I'm bringing this item forward tonight. So this was actually brought forward back in 2022. The VFW had presented their plans to put a deck off the back of the property there overlooking the river. So they're ready to kind of get moving with those plans and get started. So today I'm bringing it forward just to kind of reintroduce it to you if you weren't on council back in 2022. So it was November they had presented, and then the park board and the council approved moving forward with that process to donate a portion of the city-owned property where the deck would sit to the VFW. So we would do a lot split and a combination. So it's a really tiny corner of a city-owned parcel, about 2/100ths of a parcel. So it's really small. It's currently unutilized by the city. It's right on the back of Veterans Lane there, just a tiny little triangle that I put in the packet for you. So today we're just wanting to kind of get a decision by council for what we should set the sale amount for. So we do have to put it through as a land sale, so we'll have to put it through as an ordinance, so it'll come back through council just to approve that sale. So we're just looking to decide on that dollar amount. So something as little as even $1 for a chunk that small. And then of course they still have to go through the process of doing a lot split and getting surveys and all of that done. So tonight is just the first preliminary introduction that this is happening, and hopefully move forward with the VFW on that.
I guess with that, if there's any legal fees that we have on our end, as long as they cover that, then
Yep, so any,
the sale for $1 or whatever.
yep, all the fees for the lot split, the bringing it for the ordinance, recording fees, any fees associated with the whole process will be on the VFW, not on the city.
And I move we sell it to the VFW, that little parcel, for $1.
Second that.
All right, a motion by Diane, second by Chad. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. All right, item B, introduction and first reading of ordinance 414, an ordinance amending Cannon Falls City Code relating to the Cannon Valley Fair.
All right, so we present to you the ordinance that was amended and approved by Planning Commission on March 9th. So in your memo, we kind of laid out those 3 amendments that were pushed forward by Planning Commission last week. So I'll just run through those quick just so everybody has a good overview. So the first amendment, it was to add the condition to require the professional noise studies. It also defined few terms in the definitions section of the ordinance. So the noise level, noise model, of those 3 were highlighted in the ordinance for you and illustrated. That was 4 in favor of that, 1 against. The second amendment was removing the provision to allow City Council to approve additional motorsports events upon request. And then finally, it was adding that 3rd provision that the West Gate only be used during the Cannon Valley Fair duration for emergency access and as determined by the city administrator and city engineer. So for those last 2, those were all voted in favor. The first one, 4 in favor, 1 against. So today we're asking you to approve the ordinance, either accepting or deleting those specific highlighted portions. So your discussion now.
I'm going to make a motion to approve 414 with amendment 2 and 3.
Second.
What's 414?
That's the ordinance number.
Well, okay. When I was on the planning commission there, and we took down where the so it would limit them at 5 events and not being able to
5 motor events.
Yeah, I feel like that should go to the council. We should be able to say, okay, there's something. When you think about the whole year, right? You could have events in the fall, the spring, the summer, and it just allows them to run their business the way they want to run it, and they already have the restrictions of what they want. Like, we're putting the restrictions with the noise on them. We're saying you already have to follow these rules. Why would we stop them from running more events? I don't.
In our noise ordinance already, in section E, on 91.15, it says this section shall not apply for special events used a permit by the city council. So if they ask for a permit and something's going to be over decimals it should be, which are all in here for noise levels, all the decimals it should be. If it's gonna be over and they ask for a permit for a special event, like monster trucks would be one of them.
And, oh, can I,
And he actually asked you if he should have a permit for it, and you told him no. Well, was that not being kind of set up?
no. So if I can add to that, though,
Special
there,
loud.
yes. There's also the standard for the state noise law as well, and we cannot preempt the state noise standards and controls.
Guide,
Yes.
guide.
No, they are administrative laws within the, MPCA noise standards. So those are enforceable by law.
And we also
That-
have our own,
Yes, we do have our own, and
very detailed. They actually have motor sprints in here and everything. What they should, where they are.
yes. And so in evaluating ours in comparison to where the fair is and what the state standards are, it is believed that the state standards are going to be more stringent than our standards. So for some of the motor vehicle items, because I believe those allow for up to 80 decimals, whereas the state standard at a residential property line for the daytime L10 number is 65 decibels, the L50 is 60 decibels, and the evening is, I think, 55 and 50. So the state standard is going to be more strict than the local standard. So that still is going to apply for activities that are going to happen at the fair.
So Rochester, Minnesota, have been redoing their ordinances. And on one of theirs, they think anything over 85 dBA is considered loud. And that is during the evening. And their evening is between 11 p.m. and 7 a.m.
And that will depend on the jurisdiction and the use of the land that surrounds those activities, where those are allowed. So if they're in industrial areas or event areas where these events are and they're not in close proximity to residential properties, then they can establish those standards, because it is higher for other types of land uses or other uses of property other than residential.
Down on the track, they've been doing this for 100 years. 50, 60, 70 years, they've been doing stock car races called We Town. They've done tractor pulling, snowcross, lawnmower racing, fall memorial derbies. They have derbies at other times. They have autocross, they have bike races, they have motorcycle races. This has been going on for how long? And someone newer has a house up here with a track down here. They looked in their backyard. They could see what was in their backyard when they bought the house. It wasn't hiding. It was right there. And it got a little loud once because that's up on there. And I did all the measurements and the decimals. 0.7 was the highest, at the highest peak. And I went everywhere. I went down here, I went over here, I went all the way along the road. You know, a pickup truck driving by was actually louder. But then they did a monster truck. Well, another event you should have tested after a complaint should have been the sprint cars. But you tested a monster truck was a totally different event. Is that right? Have you done that to anyone else in this town? We're a respectful business association for over 100 years. I think it's kind of redundant, excessive. I don't approve of it. If this is me, I would be beyond madder than what I am.
So to clarify, you are saying you approve this minus all three amendments, or I just
I
need to
approve parts of
clarify
it.
what you're,
Parts of it.
I'm sorry?
Parts of it to make it clearer and more legal for them.
I want to get rid of the noise modeling prior to events. That seems like government oversight and kind of excessive. So I want to get rid of that.
The motion didn't include that.
Hmm?
The motion did not include the noise modeling.
Yeah, it's just 2 and 3.
2 and 3.
The west
So,
gate.
yeah, clarify, the motion and second on the table right now is for the approval of the ordinance with the removal of the first amendment that was recommended from the Planning Commission, which includes the noise modeling for motorsports and for special events. So, in C1 and G1, those two yellow areas would be removed. insert, that's what's motioned and second. That should be on the table for discussion. If there's further changes to that, then that would have to be requested to be further amendments or vote up or down.
Members of the council, Scott Landsman, city attorney, you can make, there's a motion on the table, you can make a motion for amendments to that motion if you would like.
Okay. All right.
So I just want to be clear. So the three components that we're saying we want to strike 1, but adopt 2 and 3. So the first one is requiring the noise study. Is that correct? That's the one we're proposing that be
Correct.
removed?
Yep, so in
And-
in C1, the and noise model showing predicted noise level of motorsport events complies with all city of Cannon Falls and state of Minnesota noise laws, rules, and regulations, as well as in G1, the same language within that sentence. And then the item that was taken out in C3 would still remain taken out as the original original amendment was left in, and then the item in 152.354 F3, the addition of the west access regulations to only be allowed during the fair and emergency or determined use by the city engineer or city administrator. So those were, the original motion is those last two pieces are left in.
And just, again, for simple clarification, the second one, we are approving that the city will not be able to allow at our discretion more than the allotted 5.
Yep.
So we're taking authority away from ourselves.
So it is leaving it as 5 maximum motorsport
I mean, I'm
events.
just saying that we're trying to give as well.
Right, and I, you know, we struggle a lot with this at Planning Commission. We have certainly listened to much input from all different sides of this question. And we're, you know, trying to look at some compromise. Nobody's going to be happy. It's not perfect. And, you know, as we know, the council, either this council in the future or the new council, can tweak this and amend it as we go forward. I think at this point, I'm of the opinion that if we can get something in place now, let us use this summer to try to figure out how it works. What we've got here that does work for the fair, for the residents, and what we need to tweak, we can come back and tweak it or redo some stuff. But we need to start somewhere. And I think all of us, fair residents, council, instead of looking at this as you lose, I win, you know, let's cut the rhetoric, let's not take pot shots. But if we pass this tonight, then let's look at it and say, okay, how do we all work together to make this work as best we can for all parties concerned? And so I would strongly recommend approval as Ryan has moved.
Do we want to take a vote on what was already proposed, or does anybody want to amend the motion? Vote as is?
I'll call the motion, call the question, and ask for a vote.
Okay, so we're taking out the noise modeling and we're limiting the city to the amount of events is 5 for now.
Yep.
And they can come back
They
to
can ask
city
us-
council.
They can ask for more.
Good, that's what I'm trying to clarify. They can still ask for
They
more.
can ask for special events.
No, we're
That's what I'm
taking
trying
that
to-
out. You want
Special
to
events,
amend
they
it?
don't get-
We agreed to strike that, so you want to change it and allow that?
I want to allow it,
But they can ask for special events.
yeah.
Special events, yes, those can remain. There's no,
Oh, sorry, I misunderstood.
excuse me, there's no cap on special events, but motor sports are defined as, you know, events that involve internal combustion engines.
I would like to at least take a vote to try to get that where they could go to the council for more.
So you would then, in order to do that, then I would say you would need to request an amendment, request the amendment to re-include the second item that was stricken by the planning commission.
Okay.
So that would be at
I request an amendment to,
so,
im-
so, so yeah, okay.
You can make an
okay.
internal motion. And under Robert's Rule of Order, make it yeah. Members of the council, under Robert's Rules of Order, with the motion on the table, you can make a motion for amendments to that motion. So it's like an internal motion that would have to be moved and seconded. If it is, then you can take action on that. If it fails for lack of a second, then you just continue on with
Okay,
the motion that's in hand.
Can we do that? Yeah, okay. It's too many pages. Yeah, I guess I would like to make a motion where the hell is it?
To remove number 2.
To remove number 2, so it will allow for council to make a decision if there can be more motorized events.
If I may,
Yes, please.
I believe that the motion that you want to make, it's a motion to amend the motion that's on the table to strike number 2.
I make a motion to motion the thing on the table to remove number 2.
Second.
A motion to amend the original motion by Chad and second by Lisa. Do we want to do a roll call vote? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
No.
Motion carries. So now the motion in front of us is to remove item A, or I'm sorry, 1, include C3, and remove the gate portion, right?
Gate.
No, the gate stays.
Gate stays.
Okay, number 3 stays.
I'm sorry, we agreed to, yes. Okay, all in favor?
This is the part for the noise modeling and approving the whole thing, right?
The whole thing.
Okay. We agreed no noise modeling? Or did we have to do a vote on that too?
No,
No,
that was never in the original amendment.
All right.
Members of the council, what's before you right now is a motion that was seconded and amended to approve the ordinance removing amendment, or the planning commission's amendment number 1 that dealt with the noise modeling, to remove amendment number 2 of the planning commission that limited city council discretion on further motorized events, and retaining number 3, which was the language on prohibition of using the west gate. So 1 and 2 are gone, number 3 is still there.
All right, we're good. You made a motion already, so I
Yeah,
second.
It's already, the
Yeah.
motion's already been moved and seconded.
Yep, so
And amended.
all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed?
Nay.
Motion carries. Item D, I'm sorry, C is D from the consent agenda, approving the Don Menson Park sign replacement.
Okay, so this I can speak to a little bit more. I keep on kind of saying I don't think we need new signs, and it's not that expensive, but it's $3,000, and I feel like we keep buying signs and spending some money where I don't know if it needs to be. It's not the end of the world, I understand, but just like take a vote on it.
And
The timbers look good, the bolts and nuts look good. I went out there and looked at it today. I wanted to kick it, and I don't think it would have moved, even if it's frozen
Right.
or thawed.
The current sign?
Yeah, the
Yeah,
current one.
it looked good.
The top board is the only one that has a thing in it, but it's not rotten, it's not icky. I mean,
we,
doesn't.
we have a plan to have all of the trail signs be consistent and welcoming. And, you know, the one at Minneska Park is done, there are a number of others that are done, and this is just part of that process.
Yeah,
I see that there's a program and a process.
I like when signs were useful, like they would say the time, the rules, you know, get a permit if you want alcohol, not just come up and now you got an open bottle charge. I don't know. It's kind of beyond this
I like that
conversation
sign
here.
there. I don't know, it's just homey, and then it's like,
Yeah, it's been there
kind
forever.
of like goes in with the woods and everything, and
That's our
kind of
sign.
bam, and I'd like to take a vote on it.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I'm on the park board, and it's something we've been working on for 2 years, just slowly, 4 years. Thought it was only 2. But yeah, it's something that we decided to do slowly. We didn't rip and replace all of them. We did the ones that needed to be first, and
Yeah.
Is there a sign at the dog park?
No, not yet.
Should we
Not
put a
yet.
sign there first instead?
It needs to go, I'd have to take it
have
back
to
to
go
the
back to the park board.
park board. So, that's the plan, is to update all the signs to all the parks in town.
I mean, it's one a year, right? Or
It's one a year. I mean, it's been kind of a limited budget, so that they decided to do one a year. I wasn't here 4 years ago when they started this process. I'm just following through on what had been started.
I get it.
So I do think that the signs, the updated signs, add a definite aesthetic to the drive as you drive into town, you know, having them all match. So if you have Don Mensing not match, I think it definitely stands out and kind of looks like the oddball out. But, I mean,
For Don
I'm here at your discretion to do what council wants to do. So if you don't want signs, I can focus my efforts elsewhere.
Can you use the same timbers that are already there and just put a new, put the sign on them?
It would look funny because the timbers the sign's so much bigger.
And I don't know that it would really save much, would it?
How big of a sign do you need at a
I'm gonna
volleyball court?
move that we approve the purchase of the sign.
I'll second it.
All right. All in favor of approving the Don Mensing Park sign replacement?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed?
Nay.
Passes 3-2. All right, moves us to reports. Does anybody have anything from the chamber? Sometimes they send something.
I do. I just talked to Carrie today, and she just said that she couldn't make it tonight, but she will hopefully be here next meeting.
Cool.
That's it.
And I'll add one more. The chamber does have a member appreciation dinner next week on Tuesday at the winery from noon to 1 in lieu of normally they had an annual meeting, but without the director and getting it hired, so it'll be a good welcoming for new chamber director Carrie.
And you said it's over lunch?
And there was is an RSVP, so if there's interest, let me know. I can get you scheduled for that. I think they're still taking that registration.
Well, it's hard to have wine and when it's at lunchtime. Kind of crap. Okay. EDA, Laura isn't here. Do you have anything, John?
There was some discussion about the project for Hardwood that's up and coming. I think they have. I missed the first part of it, so I don't know, Diane or Izzy, if you can.
Can't even remember.
I mean, we do have Feast this Thursday, and there was, for those that know, at the Grand O2, it's a food show. So local food producers exhibit their wares. They have buyers for those goods that are either like restaurants or grocery stores and other things. They come and visit that. So it's a very small by their standards event, but it's really kind of a cool opportunity to for that to kind of build up on that food hub. So I will share that update was happening. But otherwise, we're still plugging forward with the Hardwood project, and hoping for better weather to get that started. And we should be able, I think very soon, or if not already, be able to start selling lots for the second phase of the project.
Second phase. Okay. All right. Public Works and Park Board. Jed, I'll give it to you since I wasn't there.
Okay, well, everything that we discussed was on the consent agenda. We did talk about, plan a little bit going forward for the ice rinks. We want to do like a pilot program, I guess. We want to take the pleasure rink and basically make a pond out of it, something that's going to hold water, and put some pipe and valves on it. Try it next year to see if we can get ice to stay. And if that works, then we will address the hockey rink after that. So we want to try something out.
Yep.
There's not a whole lot of information on municipal ice rinks unless we want to spend a whole lot of money and pour a whole lot of cement. So this is a pretty, I think, inexpensive way to address it. And this is what most smaller towns do around. We just need to condition the soil to hold some water. So the other thing I would like to address is we had a couple of comments about trees. So we got a $50,000 grant from the DNR to take out 50 trees and replant 50 trees. We are about 3/5 of the way through that grant, but those trees were generally in the city parks. So we've taken out 30 some odd trees and we've replanted 30 some odd trees in the parks. We're working on a couple more parks and this is only for ash trees, to tear out ash trees and then replant with a variety of other trees. I don't have a list of all the trees, but it's a pretty good variety. So in Hannah's Bend and John Birch Park, we tore out all the ash and replaced them with different varieties of trees, not ash and not maple. That grant runs out in like 2028, and is a direct replacement. So one ash tree for replanting one tree. We're hoping we get 50 trees out of it. It costs a lot more to tear down or take down a tree, and the cost of new trees is pretty expensive, as well as they have restrictions on what types of trees we can plant, or we can't just buy bare root and whatnot per the grant. So we are on track to tear out 50 trees and replaced 50 trees with that. As far as the boulevard trees go, we have not been replanting those, or the ones that are in the city right away. It is not it's not that we want to take down all these ash trees, but they're dead and we need to, and because they're in the right of way, we are. I discourage people planting trees in the right of way, because then it becomes the city's responsibility to maintain them as they get bigger, and it's just more of a cost to the city. As we take these out, residents are more than welcome to plant trees further back in their yard, but the city will not be, I'd rather not plant more trees in the right of way for us to maintain.
If I could add to that comment too, I know there's been a question about this from council, that those boulevard trees, the ones in the right of way that Jed is referencing, we do have provisions in our code that do have some limitations to that. So if we do take one out and there is interest from property owner really wanting to put one back in, I do recommend that you contact us to verify what can go back in there, because we do have restrictions on the size of the tree being small, medium, or large, its distance and proximity to the sidewalk, any driveway, any fire hydrant, any other city utilities. So there's a lot of limiting factors when you want to put them back there, because unfortunately, yes, they do. It's a great location. It just does provide a lot of shade, but with the nature of how utilities are placed in the roads and their proximity, they can, those trees are fine right now, but in 50 years they can get a lot bigger, and they can cause a lot of more issues with things that are underground. So we just want to make sure that when you do that, or if you're interested in doing that, you talk to us first, and we can help guide you on the best placement for those.
I guess one last thing is, my guys are, we're good at trimming trees. They're not necessarily loggers. They do a good job for the limited equipment we have, but it's not by choice. We're running around cutting down all these ash trees. We remove them because they are dead and cause a hazard to the public. It's not that we're trying to eliminate all the trees in Cannon Falls. So if they were healthy, we wouldn't touch them. But and one last thing, April 6th, I know this is weird with a foot of snow outside, but we will be flushing hydrants. We got some warm weather coming up, and most likely all the snow will be gone. So Notice will go out in the paper next week, but we will plan on flushing hydrants. So, thank you.
All right, thank you. Planning Commission, Diane. Enough said.
Yeah, I was gonna say, we've been there, done that.
Yep.
We're done.
Okay.
Unless Izzy wants to do some more.
All right, we'll go around. Izzy, do you have anything else tonight?
Yeah, I'll just add, we had our first kickoff meeting for the comprehensive plan update, I think 2 weeks ago, right after the last council meeting. So we have 12 members on our steering committee from a diverse group across the community. So we're kicking off this update. So we'll be meeting monthly and scheduling those out with more public engagement and whatnot. And there is a survey out throughout the community. So there's a section on our website that talks about the community survey. There should be paper copies at the library, I think at some banks in town, and obviously here at City Hall we have them. There's a QR code that you can scan as well to take that comp plan survey. Otherwise, paper copies can be turned in here at City Hall. You could even put them in the utility bin out front as well, and we can collect them there. So just putting it out there for as many people as possible to take that survey, whether you're a resident of Cannon Falls or if you just work here. The more results we get from that survey is great. So look on the website, take a look at the QR code. All the information is out there for you.
Great, thank you. Bill?
Nothing additional unless you have any lead service line or 2026 street project questions.
I don't.
No.
Jed, you should be good, right?
I'm good.
Chief McCormick.
So, as Jed alluded to, got a lot of snow. Hopefully by then all the fire hydrants will be found again. In preparation for this storm, we actually started planning for it on Thursday. We put informational flyers out, over 100 were put out on Friday to get residents to be aware of what was coming and get their vehicles off the streets. That effort paid off for us. Out of the whole storm, we only ended up having to tow 5 vehicles. But, you know, we can't take that that level of effort on every snowstorm. This one was just shaping up to be much more significant, which is why we tried to take those efforts. So just remind people in our winter parking, just please don't be on the roads, ways, streets when it snows. That's all I got.
Sarah. I don't remember your Scott.
Members of the council, Scott Landsman, city attorney, you may remember Shelley.
Yes.
Shelley has gone on to greener pastures as corporate counsel for a large nonprofit. I've been given the opportunity now to represent the city of Cannon Falls. A little bit about myself, I have 28 years of experience in municipal law. I represent cities as small as 86 people, all the way up to 75,000. So I have a wide range of representation with municipal law as representing cities with regards to everything you talked about today, special assessments, development, open meeting law, you name it. So it's I'm looking forward to continuing Hoffberry's representation of Cannon Falls, and if the council ever has any questions about any topics that come up, I'm always available and more than happy to talk to you. Thank you.
Thank you. Welcome.
Thank you.
John.
Thanks. Just a couple quick things. Just an update on the payroll technician application. So we did receive 29 applications for that position. We have scheduled 8 interviews for next week. Had lots of very qualified folks with really direct experience in all the aspects that we're looking for that position. And then next week I will be at the Coalition of Greater Minnesota Cities Legislative Update Conference on March 25th up at St. Paul. Lots of things happening at the Capitol right now, from land use to data centers, so it's a really great opportunity to kind of get the lay of the land and hear from legislators, potentially the governor and the league about the things that are happening this session.
Okay. Ryan,
Nothing.
Chad?
I guess with the, I've been told by some people that people are being rude on either side of the racing thing on Facebook and social media. Stop calling people Karen and Kevin's. That's not going anywhere. This was a thing with both parties, so just try to be civil. That's all I got.
Lisa?
Please keep social media clean and happy. Have a good day.
Good luck.
Diane?
That's what it's there for.
Okay, and my hat's off to Public Works for obviously cleaning our streets. And I would also like to thank everybody's neighbors and friends who went out and helped one another. I saw things on Facebook going, help, help, I can't get out of my driveway, and somebody was always there, and so hats off to good community spirit. And of course, happy St. Patty's Day.
Yeah, that's how I would like to end it as well. Happy St. Patrick's Day. I got a little bit of Irish in me, so I'm the.
I have none.
Oh,
But
I
I was
do.
in Chicago too long, and they taught me to, dye rivers green.
All right, with that, I will take a motion to adjourn the meeting.
So moved.
Second?
Motion by Ryan, a second by Chad. All in favor?
Aye.